Everybody goes to church.
You are listening to the Excellence in Online Broadcasting Network. You are listening to your source for trusted intel and news. You're listening to Live with DC. You are listening to your source for trusted intel and news. You're listening to Live with DC.
Hey there, it's your favorite president. You need to be listening to my friend DC. He's a trusted source and won't lead you astray.
Thank you for listening to You Post DC, your trusted source for intel and news.
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right, everybody, we'll get started here. We are late getting on here tonight, but those can watch later. That's fine. Wow, what a day. Big day. We've had all this week I've been on the air on our eiobn.com website. That's the Excellence in Online Broadcasting Network. You can watch that or listen to that. Sorry, not watch, listen to that. eiobn.com, and on that website, you'll see our social media links. You can click on those. Also, for those of you using Android, you can click on the app there and download the Android app for your phone. We're still working on the iOS for Apple to get that going. Like I said, we have been on YouTube and on the radio this week. Monday, Tuesday, we tried Wednesday. It was some internet issues, and Thursday and today. Every day it's Monday through Friday from 1 until 2:30 p.m. That we're live on the EIOBN website, the Excellence in Online Broadcasting Network. Also, if you don't follow us, please follow us, share, like, give us hearts, whatever you want to do. And if you go and check out our website, there's a place on there to support us and support what we're doing of getting the message out that patriots still live, and we're going to fight for this country, and we're fighting the good fight. And that's what we're going to do, guys. Just kind of telling you a little bit what's going on. There was actually just a couple hours ago, several emergency vehicles actually had just pulled up to the outside of the White House gates, and actually multiple entrances to the White House were closed off. And Lord knows what that is. And as you know, here recently, we've been seeing the White House has been going offline. When I say offline, I'm talking about the webcam and all that. It's hard to tell what goes on out there, guys. To be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff to cover. Like I said, we covered it today, but this is completely different than what we've normally done. Hello, Brenda, the Enforcer 42. Hello. Pam, Richard, Swampfire. Hello, guys, that are on Rumble and then also on YouTube. Yeah, there's that, man. We're cooking tonight. That's right. But I want to start with a couple things. We always talk about fake news, and the biggest fake news you're going to see is and hear about is that Trump is scared. We're all scared because Kamala is leading in this race. Well, let's just start here and just say this. Hogwash, bullcrap, ain't happening. Fake news is continually going to be fake news. There is a script. I've said it so many times. There is a script that they all go by. You can look at NBC, CBS, ABC, whatever it may be, and look at them. And they'll have the same script straight across the board. You're very welcome, Manifold. Hello to you in Atlanta, Texas. All right. Good deal. And but you have all this fake news that's going around, just trying to keep everybody up in arms. And do not lose sight of the prize. Okay, don't lose sight of it. Don't be disheartened by what we're seeing or hearing. It's all optics. It's all a trick. If they can keep you from going to vote, well then, hey, let's try that then. Yes, the president is okay after the emergency landing of his plane. I already have my thoughts on that. I've already talked to a couple of people. You know what? Let me just tell you this. If you thought that the only one assassination attempt upon Trump's life was at the the young boy that supposedly shot him, but there was other shooters. I put together a whole video. It got removed and just boom. It wasn't even a minute that it was up and it was gone, because it is very damning. And I'm still working on that, and we're going to get this. We'll get it out there. Everybody has their theories. I have video. I have the forensics behind it, and I can prove it all. And so, we just still have to keep fighting the good fight. But the optics thing. So what's going to happen is they will continue to push the narrative. First the narrative was Russia, the dossier. It was all these things. And now they're pushing, and they're saying, oh, well, Kamala's in lead. Trump is getting worried. You can see him getting worn down. Let me tell you what, if that sucker hadn't gotten worn down in the last little bit after this election fraud that happened, you really think he's worn down now? He's not worn down. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. He is not worn down. He's not giving up. He's not weak. He's not bowing out. He's getting pissed off is what he's doing. And thank God he's getting that way. Thank God. Because they will get their butts handed to him when he goes in office. They will. And a lot of people will go, I really don't want that to happen. I really don't. I just really, I really want to pray about this. You go in your side room and you pray in your prayer closet. I have zero problem with that. Praise God. But our country needs more than that too. You can sit and pray all day long and wait for God to change something when God has given you the power with a vote and just your voice and spreading truth. But yet we won't do it. We want to depend upon God to take care of it. He says, faith without works is dead. The works goes up on you. You got to work for something. And that's why more than ever, when this whole nasty stuff goes around, oh, he's scared to death now, scared to death. I saw and I did a screenshot of it. But of course it was the Communist News Network is the one to put this out. So go figure. But it says choice for president. They're saying Trump and supporters will cry fake news again. I guess that's me, guys. Fake news. They are panicking with public meltdown. I have never seen one Republican stand outside and go, like they did when Donald Trump was sworn in as president. I've never seen the Republicans go and start looting the Family Dollar, for God's sakes. The Family Dollar. Good Lord. No, let me tell you something about us. We work for a living. We don't depend upon the government to give us a check to feed us, to feed all these children that we've had that have 20 dads. I don't know, it's going to tick a lot of you off what I'm saying, but it's the absolute truth, guys. It's the absolute truth. And I know some get really upset, but I'm going to say this. The Democratic Party has been the number one thing that has pushed slavery. And it bugs me to no end how the African American community can stand behind Kamala Harris or even Joe Biden, for God's sakes, or just the Democratic Party. I'm serious. For what? A free cheeseburger? For a free Obama phone? Are you kidding me? No, that's called a sellout, man. That's called a sellout. And I'm not mad. I'm very passionate about what's going on. And it bugs me that people choose to be blind. If Kamala Harris, she has said, well, when I'm in office, I'll do X, Y, Z. She's been in office, guys. She's had almost 4 years to show us what she's got. And she ain't showed us a daggone thing. Not a daggone thing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. You know why? Because she can't do it. That's why. She can't do it. She has not been this in the spotlight at all in all this time that they've been in office. Since Joe Biden supposedly stepped down. But Biden supposedly stepped down, but yet it was never on a presidential letterhead, which is beyond me why. Because normally what happens, a president, when he gives a letter or something like that, when he doesn't do it on a scratch pad, guys. He doesn't do that. A president acts like a stinking president. I mean, it bugs me. And then when she goes on in front of a camera, hello, Joe, it's so good. You know what? You ever seen a sack of crap talk? That's her. It is. Her. Because even in that, it don't take a rocket scientist to realize that it's a recording. We have AI, we have all these things. But yet you got, oh, but I just support her because she's black. She ain't black. Good Lord. I think I have more African American than me, and I'm not black. She's Indian. She's Indian, from Indian descent. And evidently she's got a Pollock brain, but she's, oh my gosh, she's nuts. Just nuts. But anyways, getting back to the, sorry, I get real passionate about it, guys. But getting back to the Communist News Network that released their poll. Biden leading at 52%, Donald Trump at 48%. Oh, Lord. You cannot buy into that. You cannot buy into that. That is not right. And of course, they say, well, you're all going to scream fake news. No, it's called truth news. It's called the truth. And the truth is, Donald Trump's going to kick y'all's tail end all over the place. And there's not one daggone thing you can do about it. Let me tell you something. All this that's coming out, and it's starting to really come out now. It's a day late, dollar short, right? We get that. Should have happened, could have happened, but it didn't happen. Because we know that people, we just know. The stuff that's coming out, I went over it today also. We actually now, we have the truth from Arizona and Georgia that Biden is not our elected president. Not at all. He's not. Of course, we've been saying that for a long time. And those of you that have been going, well, you know, I know that you talked to Brad, and Brad had said about the U.S. Marshals, and then other people have been saying about it. Let me tell you something. Some things you need to know, some things you don't need to know. But I'll tell you something you do need to know. These people, the wife of a Washington Post hack, who for years has accused Trump of being a spy or a foreign agent. Can I tell you something? She was one of those that was arrested a couple weeks ago. And guess what she was arrested for? Listen closely. Being a foreign agent herself. She's a frickin' spy. You want to know? We'll give you the dirty no. We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you loud and clear. But when your knees buckle and your head spins, don't blame me. Don't blame DC. Don't blame no one else. Because the next few weeks, month and a half, you're going to see some serious crap. You're going to see it. You know, Back to the Future says when you hit 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious wah-ha. You're about to see some serious wah-ha. You're about to see it. You're going to be forced to see it. It's not about one of those things where you're just like, well, I just happen. No, you're going to see some things that are going to make your stomach turn. And you're going to be like, my God, this is actually America? Yeah, this is America. This is America, all right. This is America that's been ran by a deep state. Yep, deep state. It exists, guys. It exists. Deep state and Democrats. Demo rats. Demo. They demolish things and they're nothing but rats that run. They're good for nothing. Good for nothing. And I said it earlier today, and I stand behind what I said. I wish to God they would that Democratic Party would just fall upon itself and just dissolve. And you know what? And some of the Republicans don't get away with it either. Some of those are rats too. Some of those are big rats. Joe Biden's a rat. Joe Manchin's a rat. He's from West Virginia. He's a big old rat. He don't know whether he's Democrat, Republican, or Independent. Pretty soon he'll probably be identifying as a donkey. Who knows these days? Who knows? But when you have other people in other countries, you've got Minister Viktor Orban, Hungary Prime Minister. He says, I believe Donald Trump did not survive the heinous assassination attempt by chance. He survived for a reason, to bring peace to the world once again. God bless him. Do I think Donald Trump is the only answer? Absolutely not. Jesus is the only answer, period. But you know what? Jesus ain't running down here on earth trying to run for president right now. We have to depend on God. We have to pray to him. I get it. But we can't put our faith and believe that Donald Trump is the Messiah, because he is not. He's not. He's not. Everybody hear me? He is not the Messiah. He is a political candidate. Once a businessman, political candidate. And he's had to endure so much, and his family has had to endure so much. And not only that, we have had to endure so much. People that have been fired for their jobs for just wearing a hat that said MAGA, Make America Great, don't even have Trump's name on it, and be fired or be turned away, or people make fun of them. Absolutely. That shows you right there. The people that will judge you for what you wear is Make America Great. Make America Great again. Okay, so you wear that hat, and someone, he's for Trump. It's absolutely it's stupid. Just stupid. That just shows you how ignorant they are. And my dad would always say this. Someone say something stupid, he just look at me and go, they're just plain dumb and ignorant. And I'm going to tell you something about 100% of the Democratic side, and about 25% of the Republican side is absolutely ignorant. Because you have people that are bought off in the Republican side by Democrats for votes. And we are at a crossroads in America right now. We are in a crossroads in America. But we have to be passionate about this election. Not passionate in the way of just where we go steal votes. We don't want to stoop to what the Democrats do. We don't want to stoop down to what they're doing. And for those of you that say, nothing's been happening, haven't seen nothing happen, then you need to catch today's show earlier, where I had talked about how people were arrested. People are still being arrested for Georgia fraud and for other things. And then you got this new this new guy that she's brought in on the picture. I read it earlier today, and what the heck? West Point Daily News, August 30th, 1995. If you don't believe me, go research it for yourself, guys. West Point Daily News, August 30th, 1995. Now, this is Kamala's VP. Okay, this is VP. Tim Walz, hospitalized for over-ingesting horse semen. What the frick? Horse semen? Oh, but he's an adventurous guy. Tim is a fun-loving guy. He's a sicko. He's sick in the head, man. Sick in the head. And of course, you got people still saying, well, according to the media, Trump supporters are abandoning him for Kamala. You gotta be a nincompoop to want to do something like that. If you want to find the show earlier, it's on my YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. And them saying it was funny because Trump's frustration the other day when the news reporter asked him, says, are you worried that Kamala had 2,000? Oh my God, 2,000 at her. And Trump says, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me? Let's see here. If you don't publicly shame them with the rest, then they won't stop. People need to see consequences to stop. I agree with you partially on that. I'm a full believer that other countries, I just call it banana land because that's what some of them are. Because you don't go there, like in Russia, you don't steal a purse and expect to go steal another purse. You don't steal a purse because you don't have a hand anymore. That's why New York City and other states are filled with the border rollover, which has been a Biden, Kamala Harris issue, where she swears up and down she's been to the border. First, she says she hadn't been to the border, but neither have I been to the Bahamas or wherever it was, she said. I think the closest place that she's been to the border has been Taco Bell. That's it, Taco Bell. She hasn't been nowhere. She has had almost 4 years, and she sat on her moneymaker. She sat on it and done nothing for the American people. Now she wants us to vote her in. No, we've already had our fill of that. No way, Jose. Nope. Ain't doing it. Tim Walz, of course, our VP, is a ELCA Lutheran. If you're familiar with that, that group has drag queens come in and read to the kids at the church. I'm not lying. Absolutely facts. Absolutely. There's so much that is just crazy. Here we go. Breaking news. The founder and president. Hear me out. You all been saying ain't nothing being done. I don't see nothing being done. Y'all got these U.S. Marshals. You got all this stuff going on. It's just a bunch of nothing burgers. Just a bunch of, let me tell you something. Evidently, we don't shop at the same place. We don't eat the same place. Because where I've been, there's been things happen. Okay? Breaking news. The founder and president of Smartmatic, the company whose voting machines and software that stole the election in 2020. Are we still talking about that? Yes, we still are talking about that. Was indicted. Here we go, guys. Was indicted by a federal grand jury on Thursday, along with 2 other company officials on charges involving bribery, money laundering scheme. This goes straight back to the White House. This goes straight back to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This goes straight back to them. This whole thing of Joe Biden bowing out, supposedly, I'm still thinking that there's going to be a monkey wrench happen at the convention, at the demo rat convention. I'm still, because you got too many people still being quiet, and when they're quiet, that means they're up to something. They're up to something. And it's crazy. But there's people being arrested. There is things happening. You just got to wait for some things. When you realize who all around you that you thought was, man, I thought they was good, you realize they were a piece of trash. And I'm just calling it how it is. Yeah, I read an article a little bit ago. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. He was arrested for lying about being in the war. But no one seems to want to open their eyes and see the big picture here. Is Donald Trump perfect? Nope. Nope, he's not. Nope, he's not. And like I said earlier today on my other show, my radio show, I said if Donald Trump, if there was another candidate, say he was Democrat, that was better than Donald Trump, then guess what? I'd vote for that. I'd vote for whoever's best for our country. Not whatever skin color I am, not whatever religion I am, not even my personal beliefs all the way. I want what's best for the country. I want what's best for the country. And if Donald Trump can do it, then do it. But I'm not going to be so ignorant and go, well, he's from Native American backgrounds. I'm voting for him automatic. Knowing that they're for abortion, knowing that they're for all this other crazy crap. They're for it. But yet I want to put aside everything just because of their skin color, or because they can bring in an artist that shakes her butt all over stage like a piece of trash. It's what it is, guys. It's exactly what it is. It's trashy. Let your daughters go out and do that. Let your daughters go out and get on stage and shake your butt in front of people like that. They're not respected. None of them are respected. They're just not. It's not. Washington Examiner has an article. Says Democratic Vice President nominee Tim Walz on at least 5 occasions hosted a Muslim cleric who celebrated Hamas October 7 attack and promoted a film popular to the neo-Nazis. Let me tell you something. If Donald Trump had done something like that, it would be all over. They'd be calling a national emergency over that. Saying Donald Trump was amongst the neo-Nazis. But because it's Democrat, we don't. Told everybody earlier today on my radio show, you may think I'm slicing and dicing at the Democratic Party, and I am. Because it is poison. Absolute poison. Absolute poison. You know, and I'm going to play you something here in just a second. One of the things that I had told him earlier, and I'll tell you again, is that, and I didn't play this earlier, so you'll be getting a little treat here. But in the UK, they're actually starting to monitor social media. And if there's something that they don't like, then they can come and arrest you. And this guy, let me just play you this.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the yobs who are causing the.
Okay. So he's saying that if they feel like you're posting something like me, they would be coming right after me because I don't give a rat's rear on what they think. That's why we have the EOIBN network, the Excellence in Online Broadcasting Network, EIOBN.com. For those of you just tuning in, go check it out. All of our social media links are on there, ways to contact. Also, you can donate to help what we're doing here because we are building this thing stronger than ever. We have free speech here, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're exercising, free speech. So let me get back to this nut job. So this guy, he's actually saying that what's his name here? Met Police Chief does not say his name. Well, good for him. But he's saying that if the England police say that they can extradite and imprison Americans over a social media post, let me tell you what. You step on my property and you try to enforce something from my free speech from another country, I will kick your accent so far up your lungs you ain't never going to get it back. Period. That ain't violence. That's me. That is me protecting my free speech. And you know what? That's the ideology of the Democratic Party. That's the ideology of that Kamala's VP. That's why when COVID was down there, that's why when COVID was going on, he actually had an 800 number for people to call and say, if you see your neighbors out in the yard and they're not 6 feet distancing, you call us and the authorities will come out. And then people that had COVID, they tried to stuff them all in nursing homes. That's the ideology that they are. And I don't care what UK does. I don't care what Russia does. I care what America does. And I care who runs America. Because if we do not fight against this with our vote and encourage other people and explain to other people what's happening in America, we're doomed. We're doomed. We're doomed. It's crazy. But yet these people, like they're going to send a threat to me in America. If we don't like what you're saying, we can have you extradited and imprisoned. Let's talk about Americans. You can live under that fear over there. I'm not living over that fear over here. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And under the Kamala horse guy, I'm going to start calling him the horse guy. The horse guy, geez. Wonder if he took his kids over to a petting zoo. Just kidding. Oh my God. So anyways, yeah. Candace Owens. Great response here. I'm playing a small thing. You probably already heard some of it, but Candace Owens is handling it well. And we'll point out something here in just a second.
What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who actively feel victimized by your presence here today? Additionally, you just pointed out that this man detransitioned, but earlier in your speech,
Guys, I want to hear her. Go ahead. What do I have to say? Just the question, please. No speech. What is the question?
What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who feel actively victimized by your presence here?
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man. I'm too pregnant for this. Next question.
If you always feel victimized by the way I believe, that ain't my problem. That's your problem. If you're always going to expect, and that's what's happened in our country. We all, well, not we all, because we all ain't that way. But there's a group, I want to say that, a group that wants to be offended over everything, wants to take offense over everything, and immediately, I got to change the law for this because you don't, oh my gosh. True story, guys. True story. Today, I go to eat, go to a restaurant. This girl was standing there, tall, blonde-headed chick, standing there. And she was standing there, opens the door, said, thank you. She goes, you're welcome. with the deepest voice. Went, what the brr? I didn't say anything out in public. I didn't say anything out. I was in myself. I was like, what in the world? And sure enough, it is what it was. A dude dressed as a girl. If you want to do that, go do it. I have no problem about that. Did I walk in there and go, I don't want to be served by these people like that? No, I didn't do that. But if it was around the other way, their mindset is, well, I won't serve you because of this, or I'm not going to serve you because you're wearing that hat or that shirt. It's so twisted. It is so twisted. Hello, North Texas. Good to see you in there. It's repulsive. So I do want to play you this, and I'm going to play a couple clips here, but we're going to keep moving on here. I'm sorry that I got on late, guys. I've had a ton of things going on. I'm doing a lot of stuff. Now that we got our audio stuff straightened out here, we will be live on Rumble. We'll get more of a schedule on this too, because we're simultaneously on Rumble and Facebook. Or not Facebook, but YouTube. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to play something I thought was really good.
You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
That is called Kamala Harris can't hold her temper because someone wants to yell Trump's name out at her place, or not her place, but at her. I don't even know what to call it. I should call it a barnyard festival. Is what we should call it. There's a bunch of animals there, but she gets mad because someone is using their right to speak and say, we want Trump. And she stops her stuff to say, if you want Trump, I got news for you, Kamala. We want Trump. And I believe we're going to have Trump.
But if you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
I'm shocked that she's actually speaking. But yeah, we want Donald Trump, and we're going to see Donald Trump. I do not believe that Trump is going to lose this thing. I know he's not going to lose this thing. And for those of you that haven't been following us on YouTube and following what's going on, I will tell you this. A lot of people will say, oh, it's not true. It's not true. Another conspiracy theory. If you want to get on here and debate, go debate with someone else. Okay? That's how I roll. I'm not Brad. I'm not no one else going to sit and fight with people. And I'm not saying he does. I love Brad. I'm not nobody else. This is my channel. I'm not going to fight with people. If you want to debate, go debate with somebody else. I'm not going to do that stuff. I'll ban you and kick you off, and that's it. Because I don't have time. We don't have time in this country to sit and argue with people even online about what we believe. We're exercising our free speech here, and that's what we'll do. We'll continue to do. Some days I won't be here in the studio. Some days I'm going to be out. My plan next week is to be somewhere else, and we'll see when we get there. So moving on, we're going to talk about Vance. And another thing, I loved what he did the other day. It was such a boss move. It was just like what it was like Donald Trump told him to do it. Donald said, hey man, do this, because it was such a Donald Trump move. So you get JD Vance, his airplane lands, and we all saw it on the news, and supposedly Air Force 2 is sitting there, and he just takes off with his entourage, walking over towards it. And he says, hey, I just want to look at this thing, because I'm going to be flying it in the next 2 months. And by the way, I'll give y'all an interview because I know Kamala is too scared to come off her plane and give you one. And when Kamala does come off her plane, she always says, we'll have a conversation about that. If you ever notice anything she says, notice this. Whenever she's asked a question, she can never answer it. She always says, we will have a conversation about this. That's her out. That's it. You've had almost 4 years to do more than have a conversation. You've had time to help change. What makes her any different now than when she first went in the White House with Joe Biden? Absolutely jack diddling nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. It's been too long. How can there be two governments? Goes back to a Kim Clement prophecy. There is. There has. There won't be continued. Things are there's things that are for a reason. So is JD Vance. I'm gonna play some of this. Maybe. I run it all here, folks. Here we go.
He said we shouldn't allow weapons that I used in war to be on America's streets. Well, I wonder, Tim Walz, when were you ever in war? What was this weapon that you carried into war, given that you abandoned your unit right before they went to Iraq, and he has not spent a day in a combat zone? What bothers me about Tim Walz is the stolen valor garbage. Do not pretend to be something that you're not. And if he wants to criticize me for getting an Ivy League education, I'm proud of the fact that my mamaw supported me, that I was able to make something of myself. I'd be ashamed if I was him and I lied about my military service like he did.
Boom. There you go. Because he's a phony, he's a fake. And it's just what he is. He's a phony, he's a fake. He's not going to... All right, let me move on here. I'm going to play you, and I'm trying to go as quick as I can here tonight, guys. I know some of you have been online for a good while, and I'm sorry about that. I had things going on here. But here we go.
1,297 days in, and she's done nothing.
Is she forgetting something? You decide.
Prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high. You know it and I know it. You know, when I was Attorney General, I went after price-fixing schemes. And when I am president, it will be a day one priority to fight to bring down prices. I will take on big corporations that engage in illegal price gouging. I will take on corporate landlords that unfairly raise rents on working families. I will take on big pharma and cap the cost of prescription.
Do you actually believe that? Do you actually believe that? No. No. You want to know why? Because she's already proven herself. Give me a second. I'll be right back and give me a drink of water.
We would like to invite you to become a DC Guardian. A Guardian is someone who supports us with a gift of $10 a month. And you will also receive a beautiful DC decal so you can post your support. And also you will get email updates for Guardians only. Plus special discounts on products and functions and conferences to come. Please click on the donate button on our EIOBN.com website to support. Once again, on behalf of the Excellence in Online Broadcasting Network, thank you.
And thank you. So back to that quick drink of water there. So she has done nothing in the 1,297 days that she's been around. And that's 1,297 days that that shouldn't have happened. But it has. And so what do we do? And then one thing we talked about today, and I'll say it again. What do we do now? What do we do now? You're exactly right. She's already in office, so why isn't she doing anything now? Because she can't. When it comes to real politics, she's illiterate. She can't. She just can't. She's already proven that she can't. She's had more. Do you realize if you stayed on the job this long and had never worked, one, you have a bunch of ticked off employees, and two, you wouldn't even have a job. Be done. And this is the time when America stands up and says, you know what? You're fired. You're done. You're done. Because the America that we once knew does not exist. The America that we once grew up in is not the same. Our neighborhoods have changed. Our cities have changed. Our states have changed. The United States has changed as a whole. The world has changed. It's not the same. When I grew up, we got up in the morning, like especially in the summertime, we got up, got on our bikes, took off. I don't even know where we went. I don't even know where we even survived some of the stuff we did. Jumping ramps, making ramps, jumping over cars, anything else we could do, and never broke a limb. Stayed out until past dark. Then come in to eat dinner and go take a bath and go to bed and get up and do the same thing. But you can't do it these days. Because, and that ain't even in small town America. But you can't do it these days. Because of some lunatic that screws it up for people. And now what we're facing is the lunatics are no longer just homegrown people. We've got all these terrorists that are in our country. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Kamala Harris. If you want to do something in your last days in office, Kamala, why don't you go and round up these people and send them packing home? That's what you can do. How about you fill the border full of alligators? How about you go back to the way it was in the Wild West? You give bounties out. This is a known terrorist. He's been deported 5 times from America. This is 5 times too many. If he comes back in, here's the bounty, dead or alive. Yep, I'm saying it, folks. I am. A lot of you won't like it, but that's okay. Because here's the thing. I have seen so many people affected in a negative way by these open borders. We've got women being raped, kids being molested and raped, sex trafficked. You've got, oh my gosh, getting stabbed, shot, all these different things, and they can't do nothing to them because they don't have no ID. They have nothing here. Well, let's just deport them. And then you deport them. It's a true fact, guys. I've had to take people myself to court that's been here 4 or 5 times. And to get here, can't speak a lick of English. But they sure know how to rob you. Sure know how to cause terror upon you. And if you come to our country and you come to our doors bringing terror, you're going to get terror. You're going to get it. Gone are the days of just being like, well, you know, I'm just hoping. You can't even get law enforcement to frickin' show up half the time. They're too busy out walking malls, drinking coffee, and doing their thing. Or sitting on the side of the road growing fat until they get their pension. Absolutely, it's the truth. 100% witnessed it. Doesn't mean they're all that way, but it means it's there. We've got all this going on in our country, and we're so worried. Goes back to this. You're so worried about whose collar we're voting for. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'm not mad. Just so you know, I'm not mad. I get very, very passionate about it. And I get very, very agitated. I will tell you that. Because we've sat on the sidelines for too long. If my message gets to you tonight, it should be this. We've waited too long to almost change things. This election is so important. If we do not step up, step out, make sure that our vote is counted, and that means when you go to vote, if you go in there with a paper ballot, you make sure there is no writing on that thing. Because if there is writing on there, a mark or anything, guess what? The machine kicks it out as a fraud, which means your vote don't count. I'll tell you this story. Those of you on Rumble that hadn't heard this one, and those of you that are new on YouTube or radio, I went with my parents. We always had this ritual we do, go voting together. We'd see the friends. We always ran into our friends there and stuff like that. And with us going in there, I had just buried my aunt, my dad's sister. She just passed away about a year before that. We go in to vote, and they ask us who we are. We show our ID. Yep, we had to show our ID. Think of that. And show our ID, go to sign the paper, and I look down because her last name was the same as ours, and I look down, and her ticket is pulled. And I said, wait, that's my aunt there. Yes, she voted earlier. I said, how did she vote? She's dead. She's been dead. I don't know, but she voted. Ma'am, she's been dead for a year. maybe a little bit more. I don't know, but she voted. She did not vote. Well, how do you, lady, are you deaf? It is my aunt that I personally buried. Took care of her funeral stuff. Buried her. And you're telling me that she was in here and voted this morning? It went on everywhere. Everywhere. So that's why I'm telling you this time, you have to make sure that everything is right. Everything. Make sure if it looks off, question it. If someone wants to take your ballot and walk away with it, you follow it. You follow it until it's put in and tallied. That's how important it is. Because it may be your last. It may be your last. And you gotta keep your eyes open, guys. There's going to be, I guarantee there's going to be people that's going to try to threaten, there's going to be all kinds of stupid stuff. Keep your eyes on the prize. Okay? Keep your eyes on the prize. Because if you're not vigilant, let me read this text here. It says, or this chat. It says, when I was standing in line to vote here in Louisiana, the guy in front of me was told he'd already voted. Absolutely. And that ain't just one person. That was all over the country. Was telling, you've already voted. How did I vote? Here I am. Well, I don't know, but you already voted. That's what I'm talking about. And let me tell you something. When that happened with me, I went on social media and said, hey, how's my aunt? How is she voting today when she's been dead? And none of the representatives in my area that I know personally would even respond. And so you know what I said? I got your number, guys. I got you. Be the last time I ever vote for you. I don't care, Democrat, Republican, Independent. I don't give a crap. If you're going to let our country slip by and go into a hellspin because of your political and personal gain, God have mercy on your soul. God have mercy on your soul. I do want to tell you this. There are, if you don't follow Kelly Brady, you follow her. She follow her. My plan at some point is to meet up with her in DC. I don't know when. I don't know where. I'm just working on it. I'm going to tell you this. Donald Trump had to be careful. Donald Trump, no matter what anyone says, we have two governments. No matter what anybody says, I'm going to get people that go crazy over just that one statement that I just said. We have two governments. And how can you not see that? Because there are two regimes running. There is all kinds of things in front of us that we don't realize. Do you realize J.D. Vance, when he walks over in front of the airplane that's supposedly everybody, Air Force Two, which is what Kamala was on. Do you realize that her tail wing had no call signs for Air Force Two? Has the American flag, has that decal, but does not have the call signs on it. I am sick and tired of hearing, well, we're in a movie. Well, get your popcorn. My popcorn is stale. I am so sick of eating popcorn. I'm tired of it. Tired of it. We, as Americans, are fixing. There's your southern one there for those of you in Louisiana, Texas. Fixing. We are fixing to see some serious crap hit the fan. Oh, but I want to know when. I'll tell you when. whenever it happens. Because you can tell so much information and then everybody goes berserk, blows it up on social media, and then you have all these people thinking, well, they're just nut jobs. I'm not going to do that. For those of you that are believers and believe that we are in a crazy situation, here's the thing: we are living in the conspiracy theorists. We're living in it. Someone said, "You're a conspiracy theorist?" No, it's called real life, Jack. It's real life. Just so you know, we still have the Brunson case. I do not, and I'm going to tell you this, I do not hang my hat up on that case. Do not. But let me just tell you a little tiny secret, everybody. There's a reason why U.S. Marshals were brought in. There's a reason why New York City and the surrounding agencies within D.C. and even other places that came in and were sworn in as either U.S. Marshal, as a U.S. Marshal, or as a Capitol policeman. Let me stop here, because I know all the theologians are going to get on Google and go, hey, only 97 are sworn in and there's only 3,000. So how is that true? Let me tell you something. Your local law enforcement agency can be, those officers can be sworn in. Anybody, here, listen to me. Anybody that is a sworn officer, I don't care if he's wildlife, I don't care if he's Amtrak trained, I don't give a crap who he is. I don't give a crap. Everybody that has been sworn as a law enforcement officer, has taken an oath, can be sworn in as a U.S. Marshal. Now, you have a different side of U.S. Marshals where they go and train in Georgia, and there's other places, but they'll train. But even that, though, there's not enough U.S. Marshals right now. There's not enough. And here's the reason why. The hiring pool is crap. Because we have raised a bunch of sissies. I can't fight for that. I can't run that. I can't go to class because we've raised a bunch of babies. Bunch of babies that's never had their butt whipped in their life. But let's put them in timeout. That'll make them better. No. You wear the rear end out. Well, you hear DC? Oh my gosh. He's on there talking about beating people. You should beat your kids. I'm not saying that at all. If you go beating your kids, you're a nutcase. I'm saying this, you better correct your kids, because what we're stuck with is this next generation is the ones that's going to be calling the shots of whether putting us in nursing homes or euthanizing us. That's where we are. But let me pray about it. You just sitting around praying about it is not working. Being active works. Faith without works is dead. You've got to act upon these things. Doesn't mean you go out and do violence. Don't take it that way, because it ain't that at all. But we can no longer sit back, be quiet. Well, I'm just going to be quiet because I don't want to cause a ruckus. No, when I go to a family reunion, if I'm not going there with a fight, but if someone wants to start something about political stuff, I'm going to end it. And if my family, mine don't, but if your family refuses to hear you, it thinks you're a total nut job because of all this, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're crazy, this ain't happening, then you know what? Dust your feet from that. Why put yourself in that same misery of dealing with people that don't want to believe? Why? Why lose sleep over Uncle Bobby that does not want to have anything to do with you? Why? You don't. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Be done with it. And if people don't want to listen to you, then don't worry about it. Because when the crap hits the fan, you're going to be the first one to go, well, why didn't you say something to me about it? Well, I did. I tried telling you all the time, but you just kept telling me I was a conspiracy theorist and I was nuts and I was crazy. And I wasn't. But let me tell you something right now. If you don't believe the news saying Donald Trump is weary, Donald Trump is this, let me tell you something. Donald Trump is strong. Donald Trump may be silent a little bit, but he's got a plan. Donald Trump never moves without knowing which way he's going to go. That's why when this whole deal went down with his plane this evening, trust me, us people in the know was like, oh boy, is this a second attempt? Yeah, I'm going to say it. We'll say it. Was it a second attempt? We won't know yet. And if it is, we probably ain't going to know. Well, some of us will, but most won't. But Donald Trump gets off and already has his arrangements to take off on another flight to go to his thing tonight. And thank you all for listening to me, because Donald Trump is on right now. Or was. I don't know. He knows what he's doing. He's not a fool. And he knows exactly what he's up against. He's no fool. And I know we keep hearing over, he's a master at chess. I get that. He knows how to maneuver. He knows all these things. But he's also a businessman. He knows how to get things done. And if you think for 2 seconds Donald Trump has not been the CIC, you're absolutely crazy. Crazy. You're right, Richard. It's a conspiracy theory until it isn't. Whatever. The bottom line is this. A lot of things have been going on, but we still want to consider it a conspiracy theory. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. Some people could see it right in front of their face and still scream up and down, it's a conspiracy. If you don't think that SCOTUS still can't drop a big old bomb on everything, not a physical bomb, talking about a case bomb on everything, and end all this election nonsense, it can still happen. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm saying it can still happen. I'm going to tell you why. Because you've been getting warned over and over and over, and I'm telling you absolute fact here tonight. You've been getting warned over and over and over about this. Troops are in place, and so are we. And when given, you think a terrorist group can sit aside and wait for the magic word? They call themselves masterminds and strap a bomb to their chest. That ain't a mastermind. That's a lunatic. But we're not that. We're waiting for the right moment to be mobilized, because all hell will break loose. Let me tell you what, there's going to be 3 ways hell's going to break loose here. Okay? Mark my words, guys. Here we go. Y'all can copy this and put it on social media. I don't care. 3 ways. 1, let's just say for kicks and giggles that Kamala did get in. The election was stolen. Then all hell's going to hit the fan. It's going to hit the fan. Then they're going to try to say, oh, well, this is civil unrest, and try to bring. You cannot make certain people do certain things. And I'm going to tell you what, you cannot expect the military. I'm not talking, let me tell you this. When Donald Trump was in, y'all, you got to follow all the different things he was doing. The Space Force, all these different things. Don't you think for 2 seconds, when they say the military, that we're not talking about the United States military that we would think it would be? It is part of that, but it's a different segment, a different part. Why is it different? Because it remained unknown for years. And don't you think for a second that there's not going to be safe elections? There are going to be some safe elections if we get to it. If we get to it, that's number 1. If, just say for kicks and giggles, Kamala stepped in there, all hell's breaking loose. Number 2, if SCOTUS drops the big old huge blah blah on everybody, and then they say, you know what, the election was stolen, and before I get any further, there's going to be those theologians like, well, but that case was settled out a long time ago. Learn your facts, bub. Learn your facts. If SCOTUS drops something and says, we're ending this now, then all hell's going to break loose. Okay? There's 2. Number 3, when Donald Trump wins, you're going to see a total crap hole meltdown of liberals and the Democratic Party. They're going to fight and fight and fight to keep him from being sworn in. That's what's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't you dare backtrack. Don't you dare step down. Don't you dare let your representatives that you voted for get a spine that's not even worth standing up for. Hold them to the ground. Because One of two ways is going to happen here. Joe Biden has said himself, there will be no peaceful transfer of power to Donald Trump. This is last week. Joe Biden said that there will be no transfer of power. Because if they get in, they want to rearrange the Supreme Court. If they get in, they're going to do their own thing. If they get in, they ain't getting in. They ain't doing it. That's why they get on the news and pull every little stupid little stop they can. Try to pull it out. Well, saw Trump in the corner crying. He ain't crying. He's probably laughing his head off at you. And at a moment's notice, I'm telling you, at a moment's notice, the world will change. Everything will change. We're going to greater heights, whether you believe it or not. We're going to be fine, whether you believe it or not. It's going to be okay. That's the great news. And those of you that are sitting by and waiting for the storm is up on us, my fellow Americans, keep sitting and waiting. I don't need anybody to send off an EBS system. And I've had like 5 or 6 people email me. If you ever want to email me, dc@eiobn.com. It'll take me a second to get back to you, but I will get back to you. But email me. Hey, what about the EBS? They're saying it's supposed to go off this week. Erase that. Let me tell you something. If the EBS is going off, if it's going to go off, there's nobody going to be on social media about to tell you. Okay? I hate to bust that bubble. This John or JFK, all this stuff that goes on. There's so many fictitious accounts out there. It's crazy. But if they come on going, hey, the EBS is going off this week. You know how many times I've heard that or seen that? And those of us that know how things work go, oh my God, cannot believe that we're having to even deal with this. Those are called optics, and those are also called diversions. You have to sometimes separate yourself from people that are your friends that are nothing but diversions. I say it all the time. Quit being a faucet for people that are drains. Quit pouring yourself into something that just keeps draining you. Stop. It's about you. You can't save everybody. You can't save the world, but you can sure help change it. And that's the power. And that's what we're doing here. With this EIOBN network. It is free speech, and nobody can take that from us because we own all the rights to everything. Patriot driven, MAGA, make America great, absolutely. And if we do it through truth and getting the word out, that's what we do. We bind together as a family, because at the end of the day, doesn't matter whether you vote red, blue, independent, whatever. At the end of the day, we all bleed red. And I said it several times, but if I go into a hospital and I'm sick and I need a blood transfusion, I don't go, hey, I need a Caucasian's blood. I don't give a crap whose blood it is, because there's life in the blood. It don't matter if it's African American or Japanese or Chinese or whatever. I just need blood in my body. And we let elections separate our churches, our work, our families. Families be destroyed over that. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. They will never gossip about how that you've helped them. But they'll sure gossip to everybody else. Oh, they're lunatic. They're conspiracy theorists. They're crazy. They think Donald Trump is still in charge. But tell you what makes you think he's not in charge? Because he sure is getting a lot of kickback from everybody. There's more than enough documentation and proof to show not only that the National Guard, but also thousands of World Alliance aircrafts in and out of the United States and National Guard bases, and they all, here we go, they all still believe and still say he is their CNC. Here goes the why questions. Then why don't we see it on the news? You gotta be freaking kidding me. Really? All news agencies have the same script. They're all going by the same thing. No one's going to come on there and say that. They will come on and continually feed you garbage. And then at the very end of their 30-minute segment of garbage, they'll take 30 seconds of that and try to give you an inspiring story to make you feel like, wow, they really care about me. That just touched my heart. They must really care about what I believe. They don't care about what you believe. Their job is to indoctrinate you and to mess with your mind. And until you truly see that, we're screwed. I have friends to this day will argue with me. I could show them paper proof, facts, this, that. Well, let me go see what CNN says. Let me go see what. Really? Haven't they already proven themselves at the last election by jumping up all the numbers in like a split half second in the middle of the night? Do not fall for it. Do not fall for it. We are in a wartime. We are in a wartime. And it is a war against good and evil. And we have to fight it. We have to fight it. Don't go doing no goofy stuff. I'm not talking about causing harm to people, none of that stuff. I'm talking about really realizing what we're up against. The Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, rulers of darkness, and wickedness in high places. Recognize what we see. When you can no longer run a campaign off of class and you have to run it off of trash, it's an easy choice then. I'd much rather see, Kid Rock, people, he's rock and roll and he was on the RNC. Yeah, and he rocked the place out. Yep, he sure did. Do I agree with everything with Kid Rock? No, I don't. But he didn't come out there showing his boobies and showing his butt and everything else. Or his crotch. Or grabbing his crotch every 2 seconds like he was about to pull a gun out and shoot somebody. I mean, come on. And if you're offended and you go, well, he's trying to jab at us. Then good job, man. I did my job. My job is to make you think. My job is to relay intel that's needed. Not what's wanted. What's needed. And what's needed right now is you in this country being positive, praying for President Trump. Because do I think that there'll be another attack upon him? Absolutely. Because the deep state, it goes back to this one thing. Look what they did to JFK. Look what they tried to do to JFK. Because this world we live in, if you don't get your way, people try to kill you. If they don't get your way, people try to just do you in. And that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy. Like I said, we're on every day, Monday through Friday. I'll try to do Rumble at the same time too. It's from 1 p.m. till 2:30 every day. And also on Friday nights, normally it's at 8:30, but we had a lot of things going on. I can't discuss, but a lot of things going on. Trust me, if I could be here every time, I'd be straight on it. But I do have a job to do too. If you have any comments, anything, you can email me, dc@eiobn.com. eiobn.com. If you do not, if you haven't subscribed to us, subscribe to us. If you're on Rumble and YouTube, don't matter, do them both. Help us get the word out. Also, if you go on the website, there's a place there. If you want to listen to the radio station, you can click there. Plus, also there's links to download for all our social media. And also, there is a place on there to donate. And understand this: every bit of money that people donate, that goes into this cause right here, of this being a Patriot ran, MAGA ran radio station / social media platforms. Trust me, the plan here is going to be massive. But we're just trying to do what we can do, a little at a time, right? And so if you feel like you want to help us out, hit the donate button and donate. And if you donate, make sure you put your name and address in the box there, because I will send you a letter. Plus, also I'll send you a couple little gifts from me. And if you want me to sign it, I'll sign it. Probably not, but anyway. Just keep us in your prayers. Thank you for everyone that has come on board, and we've had a ton of people coming in and out. I will go back here in a little bit and look through the chats here. It's both of them. I got both of them going at the same time. But I'm grateful for everyone that tuned in, and just like I said, keep us in your prayers. Keep us in your thoughts, your prayers, and just stay strong. Stay strong. Because America needs you. America needs you. And on this Friday night, you guys have a great night, a great weekend. DC will be praying for you, and you pray for DC. Have a good night.